I'm Eddie Webinero, Pre-Sales Solutions Engineer, DevOps, here at Atlassian. I'm going to spend the next few minutes introducing you to Atlassian and how through our partnership with Snyk, we enable a more secure developer experience. Atlassian has long been where customers go to get work done and collaborate as a team. You may be a customer today using Jira for agile planning, Bitbucket for managing source code and continuous integration and delivery, Opsgenie for your alerts and incident response, or Confluence for knowledge management. Many of our customers are using all these products together as a foundation for their DevOps framework. Atlassian is admittedly not a silver bullet. Rather, we've created an open platform to enable best-of-breed partners to integrate with our toolchain and enable higher value for customers in many complementary areas. The areas that I'm going to focus on today will be DevSecOps, and we'll be walking through a demonstration of how to take advantage of Snyk's capabilities across the Atlassian tools. Before I jump into the demo, let me share a question that I often hear here in the field. How do customers better incorporate security into their development process? Let's face it, there are many tools to choose from, and implementation is not the issue. The key is incorporating tools in a way that does not disrupt the development workflow and does not compete with higher priority business objectives. Incorporating the right tool at the right time in the development process will enable you to deliver better software faster, reduce lead time, and reduce security incidents. Incorporating Snyk with Bitbucket allows us to do just that. Let's take a look. And I'm starting our demo looking at my work dashboard in Jira software. This is where many teams start their day, seeing all the recent filters, projects, or issues that I've worked on. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the current software project. Our ecom platform development team's current sprint shows all the work ahead of us and what needs to be done in the next 9 days. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the first item in our to-do column, which is a big one. 20 story points was the estimate the team came up with in grooming. All production changes must include a vulnerability scan and report. Well, I can see why we gave it that high of an estimate. But let's go ahead and bring this item to progress. And I'll mark myself as the assignee. Now, the reason I'm willing to take on such a big task is I have a trick up my sleeve, and that's Snyk, an Atlassian partner that introduces vulnerability scanning for all of our open source assets. In order to start this integration, I'm going to jump over to our code repository in Bitbucket. Here, right from my Jira software space, I can see all the connected repositories and projects the team is working on. I'll jump into one of those projects so that I can start to configure this integration. I'm going to go to my workspace settings and go to the marketplace where I can look up and install the Snyk integration. Here it is, Snyk for Bitbucket Cloud. It adds security scanning to pull requests for all open source vulnerabilities and provides a detailed report via code insights. That sounds exactly what we need. Let's go ahead and install it. Bitbucket is going to confirm I'm granting access to Snyk, which is going to need to see the manifest for my project to understand the potential vulnerabilities. We'll go ahead and grant access here. Let's see what other configuration is going to be required. Nothing. That's it. The Snyk integration is ready to run. The next step I want to take is making sure the team pays attention to those reports as we work through code changes and code reviews. To do that, I'm going to take advantage of Bitbucket's merge checks and branch permissions. I'm going to go into my individual repository here, go to repository settings. First, I'll check our branch permission model and just make sure that we're protecting our production branch. This means that no one can write to this production branch unless code changes go through a pull request and code review by the rest of the team. I also want to make sure that merge checks are in place, not only to check for approvals from the team, but to actually make sure that the team is completing any tasks assigned to the pull request. With those branch permissions in place, I can now assign a default task to every pull request in this repository. I'm going to make this task to review and approve the Snyk vulnerability report. This will be a reminder to the developers and the rest of the team to make sure we're reading that report and taking any action necessary. The last thing I need to do is mark my work done in Jira. Great, 20 points down. That wasn't so bad. To continue exploring this Snyk integration, let's see what's next on the team's to-do list. Here I can see Nishant is already going to work on fixing the purchasing flow, so I'll jump to the next item here. It's adding a metrics configuration to be able to parse files like YAML or JSON. Now I know this one's going to require a code change and probably some libraries that could potentially introduce vulnerabilities, so it's the perfect task to look at this integration. Since we are going to need a code change, I'm going to start by creating a branch right here from Jira. Jira and Bitbucket share an integration, so we can automatically open up a feature branch in our Bitbucket code repository with the Jira issue in the name. Bitbucket makes it easy to get started by giving me a handy link I can copy right here to run a command locally and set up my workspace. Great. So I'm now in my local feature branch so I can start working on this YAML parsing feature. Now, it's been a while since I've worked with YAML parsing libraries, but I know we did it on a previous project. I'm struggling to remember exactly what library we used though. Let me take a look at Bitbucket's code search and see if I can find it. And I know it was going to be in one of my POM files for my Maven project, so I'm going to search for anything that includes the word YAML in XML files across my repository. Ah, bingo, Snyk YAML, that's what it was. Let me jump into this file so I can grab this dependency. I remember this one was pretty easy to integrate, so I'm confident it will make for a good solution here on my new project. Let's go ahead and open up my files locally so we can make this change. In my new project's POM XML, I'm going to add this new dependency, Snyk YAML parser 1.17. With that change made, I'm going to go ahead and commit it. To make sure everything stays linked up, I'm going to add the Jira issue I'm working on as well, ecom 133. And push those changes up to my team. Bitbucket's going to give me a handy link right here to go ahead and open a pull request so that the rest of my team can take a look at this change. So we're going to go ahead and try and merge ecom 133 feature branch into our production stream. Wow, look at that. As soon as I open this pull request in Bitbucket, Snyk integration is already emerging me. It's told me that it's discovered a medium vulnerability in that library I just added, Snyk YAML. This can introduce a denial of service attack on our application. Now, had I not been paying attention to this and tried to just merge the feature anyhow, fortunately, Bitbucket merge checks are in place and will prevent me from doing this. It's reminding me that I have 2 checks that have not passed. Those checks are making sure that all of my tasks are resolved and that all of my builds are passing. Here we can see that default task I added before, which is to review and approve my Snyk vulnerability report. I can expand the report and see the full details here of this annotation. Okay, Bad news. The Snyk YAML library introduces a vulnerability. We can't use this, but I'm not exactly sure how I can resolve it. So let's jump over to Snyk and see what advice they have. For each vulnerability that Snyk reports on, it gives you a full page indicating how this vulnerability can be exploited and what potential remediations are. In this case, it's easy. Just upgrade Snyk YAML library to 1.26 or higher. So let's go ahead and make that change now. Instead of using 1.17, I'll just rev this to 1.26. Great, I've pushed those changes up. Let's see the status. Bitbucket's going to remind me that this pull request has been updated, so we can reload the page. Aha! The vulnerability is gone. Using 1.26 seems to have addressed this. We're still waiting on our pipeline build to pass. This will take a few minutes as we run unit testing, integration tests, and some static code analysis to assess the maturity of our application. Here from the pipeline page, I can also see that same Snyk vulnerability report. This report is from the previous build where we introduced the 1.17 dependency that included that vulnerability. We can jump to the latest pipeline, 109, and see that the change to version 1.26 in fact resolved that vulnerability, and there's no additional annotations in this report that we introduced. It would take a few minutes for the integration and static code analysis to finish for this branch before we can merge our pull request. I'm going to go ahead and mark my review task completed. Great. Our latest build, number 109, has completed successfully. All of our merge checks are passing. Our Snyk vulnerability report looks good. Let's go ahead and merge this feature branch. I'll ask Bitbucket to go ahead and mark my Jira work item as done and close my source branch. This will keep our repository and our Jira Scrum board clean. Let's jump back to our Jira workboard and see what's next. You can see the board has been updated, and if we refresh, sure enough, Bitbucket has marked our task completed and moved it over to the done column. Look at that, 25 points down, and it's not even lunchtime. With Snyk and Atlassian, there's even more to offer. While I showed you how easy it is to find and resolve individual vulnerabilities as they arise, you might be looking at a legacy project or new project that has a lot of vulnerabilities or discoveries. Fortunately, Snyk made it easy to open up what they call a fix PR right from Snyk and automatically submit for review all the changes necessary to your application's manifest to address the found vulnerabilities. On an ongoing basis, teams can integrate the pre-built pipe from Snyk to scan containers or manifests every time you run your build and before deploying out to your container registry. And when you're looking at your reports in Snyk, it's easy to open up a Jira issue for the team to take a look at and resolve any findings. Well, that's it for me, and thank you for your time. Please feel free to check out the Atlassian virtual booth for more information on our DevOps offerings. And we'd welcome you to sign up for our new early access program, which includes our integrated DevOps bundle. Just follow the link provided. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the conference.